Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to our almost last week of English 410. We've just got this week, and then it's finals week. We are almost done, guys. So this week we are just working on the MIR. That's it. That's all we're doing. So the MIR, of course, is the culmination of all of the work you've done so far this quarter. So let's just take a quick look at this. It does feel like maybe it's a large document, but most of the work is stuff that you've already assembled. You've contemplated this throughout the quarter, and so hopefully it comes together pretty quickly for you. One of the easiest ways to figure out exactly what you need for this assignment is to click on our template here. So we are writing this in APA style. We've got our cover page, we've got a quick author's note, we've got the abstract where you're going to tell me a little bit about this process, and then we are gonna jump right in. We've got our standard format here. So we're going to start with an introduction. The introduction is going to be very similar to the one that you wrote in your proposal memo. Maybe tweak it a little bit with any new information you've learned, but that's going to be very similar. Methods of research, you're going to tell me what kind of sources you were using, how you went about finding those sources, how they added to this project. And then we're going to get into our findings and interpretations. And so we're going to break this down into a couple different methods. We're going to look at the theory and research summary. Most of this is going to be coming from your annotated bibliography and your discussion of those resources in the following week's document. Then you're going to talk a little bit about your interviews that you will hopefully have completed by this week because you need them for the MIR. They were due last week, but if you haven't gotten them yet, get them because you need them here. And then your student survey results. You may note that if you looked at an older version of this document that there was a section for the original case study. I've removed that, so you don't need to worry about that. And then we move into our conclusions here. Recommendations. What did we learn from this project? What can we recommend to people who are dealing with this topic moving forward? And then we will talk about our references here. We'll pop those in there. And then you've got your MIR in beautiful APA format. It's quite exciting there, right? Yes, we're excited. Fantastic. So we're shooting for about 7 to 8 double-spaced pages. We are also going to have a couple additional documents that come in with this. So that is the MIR document. I do also want to see a letter of transmittal. We're going to tell me a little bit about the document and your process. This is kind of like a cover letter for your document. Like if you were turning in a job application resume, you turn in a cover letter that gives you a chance to give a little bit different perspective. That's what this is going to do too. So just in a short letter, shoot for about a page or two. It doesn't need to be excessively long. In formal letter style, you'll tell me that you're pleased to submit this, and you probably are because it means you're done with the class. Tell me a little bit about the technical report, who's benefiting from it. Tell me why this is really useful information. Why was it worth spending your time on? Acknowledge that it might provide assistance for other things, and acknowledge people who helped you, whether it was the people you interviewed or people who edited your document or classmates who are particularly awesome. And then in closing, just say, hey, it's done. I hope it works out. And then you go ahead and close out here. You don't have to insert a real signature. You can just pick a cursive font and put it there if you want. So that's the letter of transmittal. Then you'll have your report text, which is what we just went over. And then you can have appendices if you want them. Some people like to include the transcript of their interviews, which is fine. So you can add those as an appendices. Like if you wanted to use your transcript of the interview, that would be Appendix A. If you wanted to put your student survey questions in here, that would be Appendix B. Different things you can choose to include in your documents, but that is optional as noted here. Do remember that we need at least 2 figures here. I would say probably use your conceptual model that we've been working with all quarter, and then maybe one of your Excel images based on your student survey data might be also helpful. So that would be an easy way to get your 2 required figures in. And then just make sure that you've got your citations, that they're in APA format, all of that good stuff. Here's how to cite interviews if you are using direct quotes or even paraphrases or summaries from your interview sources. Do make sure that you're properly citing them as well. And that is the MIR. It's exciting. If you want to see how this MIR might look in its final form, I do have a couple samples for us here. So please feel free to check those out in the modules folder. And that's what we'll be working on. We're working on the MIR all of this week. Work, 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 work. We turn it in on Friday. There is one final extra credit opportunity that deals a little bit with like why English is really wonky and why it's easy to misunderstand people sometimes. And then you're done. That's it. We don't have a final in this class. The MIR stands in place of our final because it's reflective of the amount of work and learning you've done throughout the course of the quarter. And that's it. I have to submit final grades on the 25th, so all of your stuff will definitely be graded before then because I have to give those grades to the administration. So if you have any questions about your grades, please do reach out before the 25th because after then I no longer have control over them because they go to the administration. So this is what we're doing. I'll pop in next Monday to just give us a quick check-in. But our time together is almost over, guys. So thank you for all of your hard work, for the level of investment you've put into this course. You are so close to being done. So keep pressing forward, hang in there. If you want to get some feedback on your MIR documents, you can always make an appointment with the CBC Online Writing Center or go to the CBC Writing Center on campus in person. If you like that kind of face-to-face contact, they also have that option available. Do try and book early because they do tend to fill up toward the end of the quarter. And if you do the online version of the Writing Center, it takes them between 24 and 48 hours to give you a response. So keep that in mind because if you give them your document on the 17th, you may not get the feedback back, that's kind of fun, in time to have it help you when you turn in your final draft on the 18th. So keep that timeline in mind, between 24 and 48 hours on that online process. So you would want to submit it probably by tomorrow just to be safe if you want to have that feedback to work with before you submit that final draft. So take advantage of those opportunities to get a second set of eyes on your document. And happy writing. As always, if you have any questions, reach out. I'm here to help.